The following show contains views and opinions that may not be suitable for all audiences. Audience discretion is advised.
Howdy, everybody, and welcome to Thespian Talk. I know it's been a few weeks, but we are back, and if you missed the encore file I put out a few days before this goes live, then you'll know that episode 200 is coming up, but it's also con time for Kat, and since she is the longest running co-host of this show, I want to make sure she's here for 200. So hence the delays getting to this episode, and then next week we'll have one, and then we'll skip for Mother's Day, and then that one after that should be episode 200. After all of that, I am your host, Gomer the Ranting Thespian, and with me is Michelle.
Hello!
Yes, it's just the two of us this week, because, like I said, Kat's doing the con thing. Erin's work schedule, of course, I know how that goes. So,
Nice.
oh. But yeah, in the past few weeks, we've had some shit. Oh, fuck. Oh, my fucking God. But before we get to all the shit, let me blanket statement a few things first here, okay? First of all, fuck Nazis, fuck white supremacists, fuck TERFs, fuck Donald Trump, fuck the GOP, fuck Vic Mignogna, and fuck people who defend Vic Mignogna to the point that they end up legitimately triggering rape victims. And fuck everybody who decides that sending death threats is a good thing. I don't care where you're from. I think that about covers everything. I think everybody is offended equally, I think. I hope. Maybe. I don't know. Hopefully it's only the people that deserve to be offended.
Can I chuck Nigel Farage on that pile?
Go for it. Go for it.
Yeah, fuck Nigel Farage. I would say fuck Theresa May, but she is under a lot of pressure and stress at the moment. I mean, a lot of it is her own fault and the way she's handled things, but she's under a lot of pressure.
Fuck her anyway. Her own, like you said, it's her own damn fault.
Actually, she was a Remainer.
Really?
Yes, there's pictures of her on the Remain campaign.
Then how the fuck?
Because she's still the Conservative leader. That's how. I can provide you with links. There's a couple of great websites, and I'll do a proper thing. It can count as a shout out, which I'll do in a minute. But basically, there's some great YouTube videos that will explain. Like, I watched them as a British person. It was like it's called Politics Unboringed, and it does explain how it all works. But the short version is you don't vote for a leader, you vote for the party, your local representative, and whoever happens to be the leader of the winning party is Prime Minister.
Ah.
So we don't vote leader.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just, oy. And I thought American politics was weird.
Ours is older. We've had more time to get it messy.
Good point. Very good point. But with American politics, we now have the Democratic clown car that is the Democratic primary, which is kind of to be expected because we have Republicans in the White House, sadly.
What's the count at the moment for the primaries? Because I think it was 20 last time I checked.
Last time I checked, it was 20, with Joe Biden just popping in there and, of course, stirring up all the shit, even without really doing much. He just comes and says hello, and everybody's like, oh yeah, you still need to make up for Anita Hill and all this other shit you pulled over the years. And it's like, yeah, when it comes to Biden, I can't stand behind the guy as it is right now, in terms of primaries. But if he turns out to be the guy who wins the nomination or whatever, which I kind of hope not, I would rather it be somebody like Elizabeth Warren. But
yes.
But if Biden or any of these other Democrats win it, I will probably end up voting for them because pretty much no matter which one of these makes it, they're better than the chuckle fuck in the White House. Because at the very least, they at least put out some concern for people below their station. And they also don't have Russia's dick up their ass. So yeah, what big political things have been happening, especially in this country? Let's see. From what I understand, the military trans ban has gone into effect with certain troops of I think it's states, National Guard troops or whatever are saying no, we're not dismissing our trans soldiers. No. So good on them. You have people just being shitheads. We recently, I mean, just like the day before we recorded this, so when you guys are seeing it live, it's 2 days before. We had the mass shooting in Southern California at a synagogue because some white guy decided, hey, I don't like Jewish people, and I went and decided to go in and shoot up the place because why? I never really understand why people hate just Jewish people in general. I don't understand the hate behind it, unless it's just an othering thing, in which case it's even more stupid. But it's like, what the fuck did they do to you?
I didn't hear about the SoCal one. Yeah, sympathies.
Yeah, definitely. And I can understand outright hating Nazis, yes, because we know what they stand for. We can understand outright hating Donald Trump. We know what he stands for, and he's ruining the planet. Not the country, the planet.
Does he know what he's standing for anymore?
He stands for himself.
Fair enough. Yeah, that. He didn't. I haven't clicked on the video yet, but I saw. I watched a lot of TYT, and one of the video titles was like Trump forgets his age, and another one was like he thinks he's a young vital man. I'm like, no.
Trump thinks he's God. That's all it is to it.
I think our politics is pretty much now. Brexit's got the extension. Things are fairly calm at the moment.
Yeah.
So, aside from all the bombings and shootings, and Sri Lanka still has a travel ban on it at the moment, and that's kind of an advisory one. I don't know about your guys, but our foreign secretary, travel advisor, whichever the liaison guy is, just like saying, yeah, we're not recommending British nationals to travel, and the ones that are there should probably try and make their way home.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the standard thing when bad shit happens in a country. It's not against Sri Lankans. It's just like, keeping our own people safe.
Yeah. Which I can see that. Although I'm pretty sure a lot of the same people who would be in those areas already know, we're getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I mean, it's standard stuff. I've seen it like when natural disasters and like non-human things have happened. They say like, we advise you not to go to that area at the moment, and that those of you who are there, get your asses out safely.
Yeah. Yeah, much like people are trying to do from South America, but they want to come to America where they've been told, hey, it's land of opportunity. No, fuck you, you're too brown. Or at least that's what Trump thinks. But yeah. And there's just so many, and I mentioned earlier, fuck Vic Mignogna, because guess what? His people are still throwing around threats to everybody else, and I say everybody else, everybody who takes a stand with his victims, not his alleged victims, his victims, because we all know how the internet works. And there's a reason why victims generally do not come forward. They're doing it more now, and I'm thankful for that, because we need to change that narrative. But they're coming forward, and they're getting harassed. They're trying to be gaslit. There's all sorts of things happening to them. They're being threatened. They're being doxxed. And you have people. They're even coming after people who are just signal boosting the damn thing. And it's like, really? Really? This is the hill you guys want to die on? Really? So along with all of that, there's also have you heard of I think it's Blue Fox? Gamer by the name of Blue Fox. He is a professional gamer, supposedly really well known. He's a furry, he's gay, and he's been made headlines here and there. And just recently, Mortal Kombat 11 came out, and first you cue the guys that are like, well, the women aren't titacular enough, when they're just, they're just not showing as much skin, because, oh no, how dare there be a Mortal Kombat game without a lot of skin. You guys remember the first Mortal Kombat, like the original one? Sonya Blade was, she looked all right, but she wasn't, throwing tits everywhere.
I like Tit-tastic is a good one.
Yeah, that is. But the costume designs for the women in Mortal Kombat 11, they're a little bit, they cover up a little bit more, and that's fine for most people. And then I brought up Blue Fox because of course he's going to play the game, and Sonya Blade in that game is voiced by Ronda Rousey, who, by the way, among other things, is a TERF. This is important.
Oh.
And
I think I know the name, but I couldn't place it. But carry on.
Yeah, but he was doing a fatality on Sonya's character, and he said, "This is what we do to TERFs," and then cue the fatality. And you have so many people coming out of the woodwork and saying, "Well, he's advocating for violence against women." It's like, no, if he's not advocating for violence against anything. It's a video game. It's cathartic. If anything else, it's like, would he really go and try and kill Ronda Rousey? No. For one thing, she'd kick his ass. For another thing, that's just something you don't do. You don't do that. I mean, it's like no, dudes, no. There are times where somebody could say something and actually do mean it as a threat, and this is just not one of those cases. He made a reference to Ronda Rousey being a TERF by saying this is what we do to TERFs. Because Ronda Rousey is a TERF. And don't get me started on the people that say TERF is a slur. No. No. A TERF is something you can help. You can not be a TERF. You can change that about yourself. People throwing the N-word around, meaning a black person, they can't change their blackness.
Yeah.
Can't do that. Or people throwing other slurs around for gay people, trans people. They can't help that. You can help being or not being a TERF. So, no, fuck you if you think TERF is a slur. I'll use it all day long. TERF, 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 TERF. Speaking of which, oh God, this is something over in Britain that's been going on. Carl Benjamin, I think is his real name, but most people know him as Sargon of Akkad. I know he's running for office over there. And this is the guy who, A, can't debate his way out of a paper bag. I have heard him try to debate his way out of a paper bag. It didn't work. And also, this is the same guy who got so butthurt about somebody not using the R slur, and he says that and says all these other slurs in a video in a sense of, well, my mom, you can't tell me to do that, like a child. And the scariest part, he has 2 kids.
Ugh.
Somebody willingly took his sperm. Ew.
Okay, I was just googled who the guy is because I hadn't heard the name. This is one of the stories that came up. Top UKIP candidate says it's okay to rape young boys in sick YouTube rant. Yeah, I don't like him.
Nobody likes him.
I didn't like him at UKIP.
Yeah.
And for those of you who aren't aware, they're the UK Independence Party, and they're one of the parties responsible for the Brexit fiasco. Hence, fuck Nigel Farage. Yeah. So, now I'm kind of glad I don't know about this guy. Maybe I should arm myself with knowledge, but I'm glad I haven't already heard about him because I'd probably be more angry.
Yeah. I want to say, I don't know if he was covered directly or what, but at least people like him have been brought up in some of H Bomber Guy's videos. So I haven't really watched Bomber Guy's videos. I've seen a couple and he seems like a nice guy, but as I said before, I'm not necessarily into gamer videos. Right.
Unless it's a game I sort of already have been playing. Like there was a guy covering Breath of the Wild, so I watched a few of his videos and that was fun, but that was because it was Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, there you go.
That game's a shit. That game is so awesome.
Yeah, but oh god, he has like these big measured response videos that are not really about gaming per se, but more about people around it. So,
yeah.
In fact, I think he did do one that involves Sargon of Akkad. Now that I'm thinking about it more, so all right. Anyway, they're on his channel.
Cool.
So with that, we're going to go ahead and take our break. We'll have the shout out section in the break segment. Then when we come back, we'll hit our news stories and we'll see you then. Hey folks, we'll get back to the show in a moment, but first I want to tell you about Patreon. Patreon is what I use to get around all of the YouTube adpocalypse bullshit, and while I don't have a lot right now, every little bit does help. And if you like what you hear or what you see on any of my videos or podcasts, head on over there. For as little as $1 a month, you can get all of these things early before anybody else does, and you can get them completely ad-free. Yeah, I know YouTube right now is technically ad-free, but At some point, I'm probably going to get big enough to where ads will start coming in, and those can be annoying, so you want to avoid that, right? If you go ahead and go now over to patreon.com/gomer21xx, leave $1, $5, doesn't matter how much, you can get all of these. Again, you can get them early, and you get them without ads, even when I reach the point on YouTube to where ads can be put on these videos. So it's a win-win. And you can even avoid the ads that go up on the Anchor versions that go out to all of the other websites that are out there. No ads. It's great. So that's patreon.com/gomer21xx. Howdy, folks. This week, my shout-out is going out to Jim Sterling, who I'm sure everybody who listens to this knows who he is, but there's a particular video of his that I really want to draw attention to, and the video is called Mortal Kombat Accuser Accused of Abusive 100-Hour Work Weeks, or whatever it is. The title card is simply Crunch is Abuse, and if you follow the video game industry like I do, or some other people do, then you know that there's a lot of stuff coming out about how overworked video game developers are working their staff and everything while their CEOs go home and have lunch and pretty much have quote-unquote normal lives with breaks and everything. And they can actually enjoy life instead of working themselves to the bone in, just for somebody who just doesn't give a shit about them. But anyways, that's Jim Sterling, his video on the crunch time. Just look on his channel, Jim Sterling's YouTube channel, and look for Crunch is Abuse title card, and that should take you right to it. I'll try and have the link in the doobly-doo as well. Thank you. And now this.
Okay, so quick shout out. I mentioned it earlier. A guy called Jay Foreman. He actually does a lot of interesting videos about Britain. He does a lot of silly songs as well, which are really fun to listen to. But the ones I specifically want to talk to you about right this moment is his series called Politics Unboringed, where he goes through the history of UK politics and how it all works in quite a fun and entertaining way. And even me as a British person, I got a lot from it and learned a lot. So if you're watching this, presumably I'm assuming this podcast has a lot of American fans or probably some other international fans. I think like the entire playlist maybe comes out as 20-25 minutes I haven't timed it, I don't know what it is, but I know each segment is quite short. So there is that. He also has another series about unfinished London. So if you want to once you get past the politics and look at some of the actual specific history of London, that's quite an interesting series. And he does another one with a friend of his called Map Men, where they look at peculiarities on different maps and the histories behind those. So yeah, the guy's name is Jay Foreman. I've also met him actually. He was a support actor for something else I was going to watch. So he's a really nice guy. I'll sort out the link for him and the Politics Unboringed playlist specifically, and I'm sure that Gomer will then put them in the doobly-doo for you. So there's that. A second quick shout out I want to do again on the political side of things is a channel called TLDR News. They again cover British politics. I haven't watched all of their political history, like how Parliament works videos yet, but of the ones I have seen. If you are curious about Brexit and all the ins and outs and everything that's happening, they do a great series of, they've been doing a great run of videos on Brexit itself. And again, that's actually for how I was keeping up with all the news, because for a while it was moving so fast. And they also are interesting, and they do countries with shoes on them, and their merch store is quite cute, and they actually have like Britain and America with shoes on their merchandise. So if you want like a, depending on where you are, if you want to represent, they offer that opportunity as well. So that's TLDR News, are a bit more formal in their presentation, but more informative, as unbiased as they can be, and they tend like here's the information, here's where we got it from. How about? So yeah, TLDR News, Jay Foreman, they're my shout outs. I thank you.
And we are back from our break. Hope you guys enjoyed the shout outs. Check out those people. Go do the things and have a good time. but finish listening to this first, please. Because we have Zen News, which it's not going to be quite as political, maybe as ranty, but not as political ranty, if that makes any sense. Oh. So
depends how angry we get.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So our first one comes out of Fort Walton Beach, Florida, which is within driving distance of me. It's about maybe an hour and a half drive, depending on traffic. But anyway, a Fort Walton Beach area man who admitted smoking methamphetamines earlier in the day attacked a bedroom mattress with a bedpost in his bare hands, believing a man was hiding inside it, lawmen say. Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office deputies were called to the home around 1:10 Friday morning after the man's girlfriend, who he had refused to let leave the bedroom, was able to escape and call for assistance. Felipe Oquendo, who's 37, was charged with false imprisonment and possession of drug paraphernalia, according to a press release from the Sheriff's Office. Okay, before I continue, something that I've seen false imprisonment. How do you do false imprisonment? Like, do you fake being imprisoned? I mean, if you're imprisoning somebody, that's not really falsely imprisoning somebody. You're imprisoning them, I would think.
I think it means that you are, as a private citizen, enforcing, trapping someone. Like, I think it's like a form of kidnap or like something off of that. Like, you are preventing someone from leaving as a private citizen without charge. I think, you are. That's how I understand it. I could be wrong.
That could be it. His girlfriend told deputies Oquendo began acting erratically, thinking she was cheating on him with a man in the mattress. He stabbed the mattress with a bedpost, like you do, and then ripped it apart with his hands. He had locked the bedroom door and would not allow his girlfriend to leave, but while he was moving the mattress around, she was unable to unlock the door. Because
she was able to.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what I had meant to say. We'll be clear.
I've made that same mistake. I've forgotten like the not on could or would, and that changes the entire sentence.
Oh yeah. But yeah, she was able to get out because doors lock from the inside, and if you're trying to keep somebody inside and you lock the door on that same side, yeah. Oquendo told the deputies he was fighting the man in the mattress, holding him down when they arrived, but the man slipped out and left. He admitted he had been smoking methamphetamine. Meth is a hell of a drug, man.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Just don't meth, not even once.
No.
Oh.
I'm confused. So he was. Was there a third person in the building, or just thought there was a third person in the building?
No, he thought there was because he was on meth. So
he was fighting the man in the mattress, holding him down when they arrived, but the man then slipped out and left. He had been smoking.
Yeah, he thought the man was in there because he was on meth. Meth makes you see hell of a things. Like, I dated somebody who used to do meth, and the long-term effects, at least for her, and it could have been from the meth, it could have been for some other mental issues she had, but she would see like fucking ninjas on the lawn to put a Robin Williams type spin on it. They weren't actually ninjas, but and she also claimed that the government was inside her head.
A lot of people make that claim.
Yeah. So So I'm guessing meth made him see the man in the mattress.
No mattress men. I mean, there's a business around the corner called Mattress Man, but I don't think that's the same thing. I think it's just a guy who sells mattresses.
Yeah. I'm looking for the man in the mattress.
I was thinking Man in the Mirror as well. Oh my god. Oh, that's a tangent we don't want.
Yeah.
We'll leave that one for now.
Yeah.
We'll leave that where it is for now. But yeah, my thoughts, guys, crackers.
Yeah. Just a little bit.
Just wow.
Yeah. And
because ripping it apart as well, because that's unless it was already a bit tatty, that takes some doing.
Yeah. Oh. But yeah, and if you're listening to this and this ends up on What the Fuck Is Wrong With You, run by Nash Bazard, take a shot. Because that is the kind of story that would end up there. And if you're in his chat, take the shot and tell him I sent you.
Yeah. I miss his pre-recorded shows. I understand why he may not be doing them as much anymore, especially like all the new moving and everything, but I miss the pre-recorded stuff. I miss Stick Boy.
Yes. Oh. Yeah, so our next news story. So we've all heard about the militia down at the U.S.-Mexico border that are basically kidnapping migrants and asylum seekers and all of that. So we have an update on this guy, on the leader. The apparent leader of a gang of white supremacists who terrorized immigrants along the U.S.-Mexico border, holding hundreds of them at gunpoint, has been attacked in jail and reportedly received non-life-threatening injuries, say authorities. Larry Mitchell Hopkins, no relation, is 69, nice, and also goes by the name Johnny Horton Jr. I have nothing for that one. He leads the United Constitutional Patriots from his home in a trailer park in northern New Mexico. And of course, it's a trailer park. Of course it is. The El Paso Times report Hopkins was attacked in the Doña Ana County Detention Center, county officials said Wednesday. A statement from them says the FBI arrested Hopkins on Saturday in Sunland Park on a federal charge that he is a convicted felon in possession of guns. Oops. He was being held at the county jail in Las Cruces at the time of the attack. Officials said they're investigating an assault on Hopkins that happened after 9 p.m. Monday, but they provided few details. Hopkins said his first court appearance Monday afternoon, and a complaint revealed that the FBI suspected him of making assassination threats against former President Barack Obama, former presidential candidate Hillary Clinton, and billionaire activist George Soros. Because of course he does. Hopkins was given medical attention for non-life-threatening injuries, according to a Doña Ana County news release. He was transferred out of the Doña Ana County Detention Center under the direction of U.S. Marshal Service on Tuesday. Officials have not released the names of the person or people suspected of attacking Hopkins. On Tuesday, members of his group were evicted from their campsite in Sunland Park. Ha! Now, far be it from me to endorse things like prison beatdowns and things of that nature, but this guy is a Nazi kidnapping immigrants simply for coming into the country. Fuck this guy.
Yeah.
I can make exceptions for fucking Nazis. And I know someone's going to be like, but the article said white supremacists. They're the same goddamn thing.
Yep. If you don't understand that, you don't know your history.
Yeah. A rose by any other name is still a rose.
Yep.
I think that's a little slight butchering of it, but you get the idea.
Oh, yeah.
So my thoughts aside, what are your thoughts on this one?
Well, back to what your opener, fuck supremacists.
Yeah.
So you're saying about methamphetamine being a heck of a drug. I think extremism is a hell of a drug.
Yeah?
Because I alluded to before with the anti-fluff videos I'm watching, like, you know, you got people who are putting forward this bullshit science, and then people saying, no, this is bullshit science, and please let me calmly explain to you why. And then them getting attacked back saying, no, you're a fucking moron, idiot. You don't know what you're fucking talking about. I don't know if I mentioned this before. There was one where this guy had said that cancer's actually good for you because I read it in a book. And this guy I watched called Professor Stick, who's kind of adorable, he was saying no, and here's why. And then this guy came back and said, oh, you don't know what the hell you're effing talking about because of this and this. And what did you read? Like a little thing, or you saw it on the internet. I read a book. And Stick was basically like, I've read peer-reviewed papers. Also, I worked in a lab working with cancer cultures. I know what I'm talking about. By the way, stop insulting my listeners, my viewers, by calling them idiot, retard. Sorry for using the R word, but that was what he was basically saying. That if you are listening to Stick, then you are a moron. And unless the book is a peer-reviewed medical journal or some such, your book's bullshit.
Yeah, because guess what? Books can have false information in them all the time. Books can also have contradicting statements about what people should do with the information inside them. The Bible, excuse me.
Yeah.
Just saying.
This is why the Britannica has been updated. That is why there's more than one edition of Encyclopedia Britannica, because they update it. There's a thing called Half-Life of Knowledge or Half-Life of Facts, where as you learn, and it doesn't necessarily have to be the science facts, although it usually is science facts because you learn more about the world. Mm-hmm. But when new information is revealed about a thing, you update the information.
Yeah.
So to bring it back to this story, somewhere along the lines, these people were radicalized, they were indoctrinated, someone got a massive bug up their arse and made them feel superior about it somehow. We could point fingers and name names, but we don't know their exact histories.
Oh, I could definitely. I'm sorry. I could definitely name one person who is probably responsible for emboldening them.
Oh yeah.
And he's orange. He sits in the White House and he walks like he's ready to take a dick up his ass any day of the week.
But I just 69, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not quite old enough to have actually fought any. Well, maybe so. I don't want. Okay, I was about to say significant wars because I was thinking specifically about the world wars. I don't want to be dismissive of any of the desert wars or the Iran, Iraq, or anything else that's happened because that's rude. But
yeah,
he hasn't fought Nazis specifically. He hasn't fought. And again, feel free to correct me because I know you have a stronger military background than I do, but World War I and II always touted as being ideological wars. As far as I understand about, especially the Iraq wars, the wars going on in Syria and everything like that, or the Middle Eastern stuff, those are just turf wars.
It sounds about right.
So, I'm actually not sure what my point is, except 69, dude, fucking grow up.
Yeah. Yep. And I'm glad you got your ass beat, because fucking Nazi. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm not so necessarily sure I can condone violence, but, if he fell down the stairs a lot, then, that happened.
Yeah.
If there were no witnesses to say who pushed him down the stairs, then, did he really get pushed down the stairs?
Yeah. So, speaking of people that need to be pushed down the stairs, we're going to Santa Ana, California. The founder of a non-profit group that was investigated over allegations it gave flutes possibly tainted with semen to school children has been charged with committing lewd acts against girls in California, was announced Thursday. John Zaretsky, 60, of Ventura, was indicted by an Orange County grand jury last month on charges involving 5 girls under age 14 in Los Angeles and Orange counties, the state attorney general's office said. Court records show he has pleaded not guilty to the charges, and he was arrested this month and jailed Thursday, according to the Sheriff's Department website. A call to Zertsky's home seeking comment was not immediately returned. Zertsky founded an international program called Flutes Across the World that held programs in schools where thousands of students played or made flutes, which were distributed around the world. In 2017, California authorities began investigating reports that some flutes distributed to school children in Orange County were tainted with semen. Ew. That's not, that line from American Pie, the big infamous one. This one time at band camp, I stuck a flute up my pussy. That's not meant to be replicated in real life. Band geek here. That, from what I understand, never happened. It also could be because I grew up in Northwest Florida, right on the border of Alabama and Georgia, and the fact that we have the Baptist College of Florida in our town, that may not have changed much. But still, no, people, if sex things were going on, it was with each other. I remember hearing stories about one of my friends getting a blowjob from one of the, I think she was a drummer girl, in like a seat or two behind me on the bus coming back from a football game. Things like that happen. Not flutes up the snatches or people jacking into the flutes. Also,
you stole my line.
I'm sorry. All right. The new indictment did not provide many details, and the Attorney General's office declined to say whether the charges involved any allegations of tainted flutes. However, a statement from the office said the charges are not based upon allegations that he personally had physical contact with any child. Crimes against children are despicable. Schools must represent a safe environment for our students, Attorney General Xavier Becerra said in the statement. No parent should fear the safety and security of their child at school. True. We will work relentlessly to hold people who exploit our children criminally accountable to the fullest extent of the law. The state charges against Zertsky involve different accusers than a previously issued federal indictment that alleges child exploitation and receiving child pornography, authorities said. Oh dear. Federal prosecutors say Zertsky tried to convince someone he believed was a 15-year-old girl to have sex with him, and he went to the Philippines in 2017 to have sex with a young person. I don't care whether or not. I don't care if it's legal in the Philippines. That's still ew. And who? What the fuck? Like, you go online. Oh, you're 15. That's so hot. No, it is not. Just
unless you're 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, maybe 19.
Yeah.
No.
If you're within a few years of that particular age, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But when you're how old is he?
I think
60.
it's 60.
Yeah, you're 4 times her age, dude. That's just no.
Yeah.
I mean, if you are banging somebody if you are somebody and you are 4 times older than the person you are banging, then you are either a pedophile, or really old, and I'm surprised you can still get it up.
Yeah.
And maybe all 3. I don't know.
I mean, because my partner has kind of his icks on that, and he was like saying specifically about Sir Patrick's, one of his wives, being quite young, but I think she was in her 20s, 30s, and I'm like, yeah, but it's Sir Patrick, he's sexy.
Yeah.
But still, she is an adult.
Yeah. I mean, it's one. Yeah. If they're an adult, which for our purposes 18 and older.
Yes.
Then you're not going to see me have too many problems with it. Depending on your dynamic.
Yeah.
But if it's just 2 people getting together, having a good shag, whatever. I don't care as long as everybody's legal.
Yeah.
And bear in mind, I'm talking just strangers. I'm not talking teacher student. I'm not talking mother daughter. Ew. I'm talking just 2 people at a bar. That's all. Mm-hmm. This guy, however, not only does he seem like a fucking ephebophile, he's also coming in the flutes. Ew. For one thing, you're gonna mess up the flute.
Yeah. And it sounds like, I mean, I was like, had to reread it because he founded the charity. I was like, it sounds like a good charity. Anything that's giving away instruments to children is a good cause.
Yeah.
I was going, is he tainting, forgive my phrasing, but is he like, making this charity sort of seem bad? But no, he was the one who founded it in the first place. It's like, you had a good idea. Stop.
Yeah. And you had to fuck it up with your fucking smooge. Just ew.
Yeah,
that's we don't want that to be the first thing we think of when people say flutes across the world.
I like the idea of the charity. I like anything that provides. I mean, not just instruments, because instruments are especially. Again, you probably know more about this than I do. I mean, a halfway decent flute isn't cheap, is it?
Oh no.
So to provide it, I mean, I know typically the cheapest guitar I own, I only paid £40 for, but that was because someone was selling it second hand, and I was offering them a better price than the other shop was offering them because they offered them £30. That guitar is still worth £150.
Right.
I got another one for £180 and one cut £100. Like I said, I think the least I've paid is £40 for a guitar that is worth £150.
Yeah.
Even my ukes and my I think I got a little one for about £20 because it's small as height, but it was just like a bit, a little bit crabbier. But I think possibly guitars, like a simple, non too fancy guitar, is probably the lower end of instruments. Whereas once you get, I think the more moving parts as well, and a flute has got a lot of moving parts.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So anything that's giving away, and it could be if it's art supplies, if it's science books, anything that is helping children, or even if it's schemes that help adults self-improve.
Yeah.
I'm completely down for that, but stop there. Stop at the thing where you're helping the people learn the thing. Don't make it weird.
Yeah, and this dude made it weird. Just speaking of weird. So this next one is going to be punted across the pond from me.
Mm-hmm.
So it may seem harmless enough, but handshakes in the workplace could become a thing of the past under new physical contact rules being considered in the UK, according to one human resources expert. Katie Palmer, an associate director of advisory at the HR consultancy firm Peninsula, said employers in the UK may enact a complete ban on physical contact in order to avoid expensive sexual harassment suits. You know, as opposed to just telling the guys, hey, you're not allowed to go and just grab a random ass. You know.
Before we continue, the person talking about handshaking is called Palmer.
Palmer. Okay.
Palm, hand.
Yeah.
There it is!
It took me a minute. There it goes. Hey, little horsey, welcome home. Oh. So, okay. So, does shaking someone's hand go too far? She told the UK Metro newspaper. They may just say no contact at all because there's no gray area. It makes it simple, but it takes away affection, which is in some ways a sad thing, she told UK Metro newspaper. Little bit of redundancy there.
Yeah.
The prospect of a no-touching rule in workplaces follows a recent survey by the UK Jobs Board, Total Jobs, that found 3 in 4 workers want physical contact banned at work. The survey questioned 2,000 employees between the ages of 18 and 65 in the UK in March about their attitude towards physical interaction in the workplace. They found that 65% of workers wanted clear guidance from their employers about what's appropriate in terms of greetings. Clear guidance from workers.
Mm-hmm.
That's the phrasing there.
Yep.
But the previous paragraph was saying want physical contact banned. That's not the same thing.
Nope.
No. So the article goes on a little bit more. The Me Too movement is cited as contributing to the climate change in workplaces. There's another loaded set of words. And people basically you're getting people that are getting a little too oversensitive and not understanding that nuance exists. Like, of course, you can go up and shake somebody's hand, and that should be okay. There are things that are obviously not okay to do, and I'm talking on a physical level at a workplace, especially when you're not dating somebody, you're not sleeping with them or anything like that. If it's just 2 people, like I couldn't walk into my dad's insurance office and grope one of the girls, which would also be very weird because one of them is my cousin. But the point is, I still can't do it. And or I could, but I would face consequences, like getting my ass kicked.
Yeah.
As I should. So, that is a clear thing to do. If it's unwanted touching, then, have that communication, and the guys, and it's usually the men, need to fucking listen. If she says, hey, don't touch my shoulder, don't touch your damn shoulder. Or if she says, hey, don't hug me, don't fucking hug her. And I'll admit, in my past, I've had issues with that too, because I'm an affectionate guy and I would go overboard, but I've learned, and these guys can learn too. You don't have to ban all contact. They do this in schools around here. I don't know if they do that in the UK, but over here, at least when I was in high school, they banned all forms of physical affection or PDAs or anything like that, saying, it could distract the school environment. Bitch, what you think we're doing? We ain't making out in the middle of fucking math. No, we're doing it at recess and our time off.
Yeah.
Granted, I didn't have that much of a problem because I never really dated anybody that would do that with me in high school, but I mean, and that would extend to saying, hey, don't be holding hands. It's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
So it's just
Yeah. So, thoughts, many. Let me organise.
Yep.
So, as I mentioned before, I'm at my current workplace. I've just done 7 weeks. Oh, good news on that. I had my half time review for my probation period,
Oh yeah.
and basically they're happy with me. They like we talk about moving forward and learning other things and training and such. And yeah, we're happy with what you're doing, and don't worry about your questions. They're not stupid, and so yeah, things are in a positive direction.
Sweet.
Yeah. So basically, my supervisor, I the building is in 2 parts. We're in Unit 7, and Unit 6 has a lot more. The boy-girl ratio is a lot more even. But basically, I'm the only woman who works in the Unit 7, and that's fine. In fact, one of the lads did turn around and say it's getting a bit of a sausage fest in here, and there's another girl that's supposed to be starting next week.
Yeah.
But as it stands, I'm sort of stood there as the only female. So I'm not saying I'm getting any kind of special treatment, but my supervisor, I don't know how much direct supervision he's had over a female in recent history. I was on the we've got tall chairs because we work on benches. I was sat there. He was talking to me and the other people around us about the job and gesticulating a little bit. And as he was gesticulating, he brushed my leg. And he immediately apologised and said, "Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to touch your leg like that." I said, "Don't worry about it. It's fine. It happened."
Yeah.
Another incident, I think he was exchanging greetings. He was like, "Oh, I've always called you mate." I said, "I don't mind being called mate. I've used quite a lot of casual affectism, sweetheart." He goes, "Oh, cheers for that, darling." So we were able to get to the point where we're working out the banter with each other.
Yeah.
He's learning what he can do. There's been a few times where I've been doing, like I said, everything I'm doing. Well, I'm getting to the point where stuff I know what to do, but pretty much any given week I could be learning a new thing. Yeah. And so he'll be going over it with me, or someone else will be helping going over it with me, and he'll come and see how I'm getting on. And a few times he's like, "Oh yeah, that's good, keep it up," and he's tapped me on the shoulder, sort of well done, carry on, you're doing fine kind of thing.
Yeah.
All of that is fine. I was having a separate discussion with a colleague of mine, basically about what I've just told you, and said, "Look, if this colleague, were to ask me out, I would be like, you know what, you're kind of cute, but I'm fine, thank you, it's fine." That would be okay. Yeah. If he continued to ask me out, then we would start having a problem.
Oh, yeah.
So, speaking as a woman in a workplace that is quite male-dominated, get over yourself. If you are feeling uncomfortable, if you have reasons for feeling uncomfortable, then fair enough, talk to whoever you need to talk to about dealing with that issue. But people are adults. My supervisor is about 10 years younger than me. He's a nice guy. The age difference, I don't think it makes a difference, except he's coming up in a slightly different generation where he's probably more aware of that stuff, whereas opposed to when we're working with similar age or older guys, they're a bit more, "You're right, sweetheart, you're right." I've worked with guys who call me sweetheart, darling all the time, and it doesn't bother me. Maybe because I'm adult. And maybe for a younger person, they might find it more uncomfortable. And that's fair enough. But again, you can have discussions about it like an adult. "Sorry, this makes me feel a little bit uncomfortable. Could you not do that, please?" Okay. And again, if they do not take heed, then you have a problem. Then it needs to go to the next level.
Yeah.
But beyond that, like I said, me and my supervisor were working out our banter and sort of where we can sort of push each other. I had no problem being tapped on the shoulder. Even he accidentally brushed my my knee when he was talking, and I can imagine if I was in a slightly different position, or depending on where his arms were waving, he might have brushed somewhere slightly higher. Again, I wouldn't be offended by that unless he's actually clearly grabbing for body parts. It happens. Mm-hmm. But to say, "Oh, no handshaking, no this, no that," I'm just like, really? Are we not adults? I mean, as far as I know, outside of most of the places I've worked, except for maybe shops and possibly some lower level catering jobs, most people going into a work environment, especially if you're doing Oh no, I've worked on a kitchen where one of the lads came in at 16 because he was doing it as part of his school thing, and obviously there were certain things he was not allowed to do.
Yeah.
But most of the jobs I work, you have to be an adult because they're more dangerous environments.
Yeah, definitely.
So how about treating everyone like an adult?
Yeah. I can get on board with that. And adults were supposed to communicate shit.
Yeah.
Like you said, you and your boss, y'all communicate your stuff out, and that's good. More people should do that. And jobs should not be threatened. And I know this is not your experience, but jobs also should not be threatened. If somebody goes up to a boss and say, "Hey, it really makes me feel uncomfortable if you touch my shoulder. Just don't do that."
Yeah.
Jobs should not be threatened over it. So
No.
But our last story for this week, I normally don't pull from Pathos, mainly because they're more suited for other things. But this one, because this one hits close to home. This one is based out of Pensacola. If you guys follow the Friendly Atheist, he's the one who shared this one and wrote it up and everything. So here we go. Pensacola Christian College in Florida has always been one of the most fundamentalist religious schools in the country. They make Liberty University look like some liberal art school out of Oregon. That is saying a lot. We're talking about a school where the fire safety protocol involves female students having to cover themselves up with appropriate clothing before running out of the building. Because your life isn't nearly as important as making sure men don't get tempted by your scandalous pajamas during an emergency. Yeah, that's a bit... Yeah. If I was any of those women in that situation, I'd be like, fuck you, I ain't burning to death. It's also a school where a student had to be expelled after his participation in the Charlottesville rally went viral.
Oops.
Yeah! I was like, oh shit, we're supposed to be quiet about that. Fuck! But there is something that a Redditor posted online recently. The anonymous submitter said he wanted to be a cartoonist, but his parents were worried about what he might experience at a stereotypical art school. They agreed he would enroll in PCC's art program instead. He didn't graduate, but according to a series of pictures he posted online, he said that a book about classical art in the school's library censored human bodies with markers, which is a problem when you're looking at, say, works from the Renaissance.
Oy.
They are censoring Renaissance art, and they include the Mona Lisa, by the way.
With markers, at least use stickers.
It's just what the fuck? And it's like, oh no. I mean, and some of this stuff is like, some of this like the Sistine Chapel, the whole thing that Michelangelo did, and isn't God and Adam naked?
Yeah.
Just How can students understand and interpret and discuss art when they're forbidden from seeing it as the artist intended? It's not like this is gratuitous nudity. And side note, even if it was, it wouldn't matter. It's Michelangelo and Da Vinci. How can this school handle Adam and Eve when they can't even deal with the Sistine Chapel? It's akin to redacting the N-word in To Kill a Mockingbird. Sure, you can do it, but what exactly are you trying to achieve? I also would have used Huck Finn, but because both are valid in my opinion. Part of me also doubted this was real. Me being the Friendly Atheist. It was entirely possible, someone colored in those pictures to mock fundamentalist Christianity. Or perhaps some overzealous student did this rather than a school official. Hell, maybe they didn't even know this happened. So yesterday morning, he spoke with Amy Glenn, the Chief Communication Officer at Pensacola Christian College, to find out if those images were real. He also wanted to know if that kind of censorship occurred at the direction of the administration, if it was still going on, and how the school justified if it was indeed the case. And he heard back, and here's the entirety of the statement. In recent years, Pensacola Christian College has taken specific actions to stop the modifications of textbooks, and we will continue to take the appropriate steps for our library holdings. Along with the larger Christian community, we are opposed to pornographic materials, but understand the value of fine art. We are committed to practices which accurately reflect these values. So, the images are real and the school knew about it, but PCC is working on it. Somehow. Now, here's what we still don't know, or what the school wouldn't answer. Is that book still sold in the library? What art is censored? Who makes these decisions? What specific actions have been taken to stop the modification of textbooks? What's the benefit of all this censoring, especially to art students? If PCC appreciates fine art, where do they draw the line on the censorship of it? And are images of Adam and Eve also covered up? Who knows? But these PCC students are going to be in shock the moment they ever step into an actual art museum. Yeah. Pensacola Christian College. My brain is telling me they've done some other things that are not mentioned in this article in the past, but I'm unable to recall it at the moment, but I'm pretty sure you can find it easily. All I know is I look at them and I just have to shake my head and be like, why are you near me? It's bad enough I live across the street from the Baptist College of Florida. I don't need you guys in my area too. Because, and if you want to know why I am not a big fan of the Baptist College of Florida, these are the guys that want to pretty much run the town the way they want it. So, or at least they have been over the years. So, because, and they're also the assholes that took away all their Pokestops because, apparently one guy got into a fight with them, so everybody suffers, even though I'm pretty sure a few of their students play Pokemon Go. But anyway.
This is why we can't have nice things.
Yes. But joke's on them, there's still a Pokestop across the street from them, and it's practically in my backyard. Ha ha.
So we just lean out the window.
Not quite as easy, but it's close enough.
Fair enough.
Oh. But
okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't agree with censorship in any form. Quick side note on the N-word. I was watching a comedian, can't remember which comedian it was, I can't remember which other word he used as an example, but he was saying basically, so why can we say this word and N-word, and like, what's the difference? And he said, well, for one thing, you're saying N-word, and you're still allowed to say the other word. There's a difference right there. And like you said with the R word, I mean, I know I kind of dropped the R word earlier. And if you actually go back to the proper definition of what retarded means, it does mean backwards. It does mean to pull back, to reverse. So that one, I won't use it in the context of where it is offensive, but I don't necessarily think that should necessarily be banned, because censorship is in of itself a complicated issue. Yeah. Going through books and scribbling over, and kids scribble on textbooks. I've seen doodles on books. It happens. But I think there's also a difference between your everyday textbooks for class and the fine art books in the library. Because that shit's disrespectful. If this is saying that it wasn't someone officially on the school board or the actual people in charge doing this, that means someone has to face those books. And isn't that criminal damage outside of anything else?
Yeah, I believe that would be.
So why they haven't done anything about it? We don't know the timeline. We don't know if it was already scribbled on before this particular student got there to comment on it. So again, was it 5 minutes ago? Was it 5 years ago? But it was 5 years ago. Why hasn't it already been brought up and those books been, swapped out? I mean, okay, maybe they're a bit expensive to swap out, but at least the note on the front saying, yeah, we know someone scribbled on them, we're working on it. Yeah. So I don't know. 1 second. I'm busy at the minute. Oh. Sorry, my partner's just gotten up. Thank you for being rude. I'm so glad this is pre-recorded. So, actually, it's interesting because he was at an art gallery today, and he said he just doesn't get modern art, but Renaissance. And actually, I was teaching you what I said to him. Art in of itself, like any form, is subjective. And I kind of say it like, you like it or you don't like it. And if you don't like it, maybe you can explain why you don't like it, and then it's fine. But, again, covering up the wibbly bits because, oh my god, my eyes! I'm gonna... Now, I know there are certain religious peoples, and I'm not going to name religions, although we can probably think of a couple each, that have like, thou must not touch themselves because touching yourself in the happy place is bad for you because God said so. I'm sorry. If it's bad for you, then why do you make it feel so good?
I know, right?
So, jiggly bits are fun. They're weird to look at. Some of them are really weird to look at.
Oh yeah.
But to cover them up, especially in actual Renaissance art books in an art college, or at least the art program in the college, I can't agree with that. I can't. Again, with the Mockingbird, I've only read it once. I've never seen the film, and it's like, okay, to flip it up again. I mentioned before that I watched TYT, and a while back they were doing about the Sacha Baron Cohen series. I can't remember what it was called, but he was going undercover doing his thing.
Right.
And they showed a clip, and I think I can't remember if it was Jenko and the other guy saying, "Look, normally we would bleep out this word, but for the purposes of this clip, we have to show it to you uncensored." And in the clip, it was Sasha's character and the politician of the week, and he said, "Right now, basically, I want you to shout out the scream and get people's attention to." How would you deal with this particular situation? If I was trying to attack, if I was coming up to you, trying to attack you, do whatever, shout and scream and say whatever you want to get people's attention, to get you help. And this old white dude basically said, "Anyone, basically that was on loop. So people say, yeah, that's basically what they were saying. I'm pretty sure they didn't bleep it on that particular broadcast because they said that we have to leave this unbleeped to show you what it was about.
Yeah.
So even in cases like that, where a word that would normally be censored, in the context, they made a decision to uncensor it because of the context.
Yeah.
And in this context, it's the art, it's the masters. Don't fuck with them. And like I said, once I go to, I love that closing line. They actually went to a real art gallery and see all the jiggly bits on display. Also, and again, this is the 21st century. And I will make my point by referring to an old joke. People wanted mobile phones to get smaller until they realised they could get porn on them, and now they're getting bigger again. This young man, any of these students in the school, if they wanted to, can look at jiggly bits that are modern, that are actual photos. Yeah. And yes, I can say dick, penis, whap, pussy, boobies, titties, whatever. I'm not being that prudish about it. I'm just saying it's more fun to say jiggly parts.
Yeah.
I'm not a prude. But. Also, I don't know if this is a thing that you ever had, but something I had growing up is what we refer to as hedge porn, where you would find magazines abandoned.
I probably found at least one or two abandoned ones somewhere.
Yeah, so I don't know. Again, like kids today might not get the experience of hedge porn, but it's the amount of actual real pornography that people can look at. Do they really think they can protect people from the Renaissance art books?
Yeah, it's just... No, my final thought on Pensacola Christian College in this instance here is like, you pay the money for the textbooks, you censor them yourselves, and this is going on the assumption that they're doing this.
Yeah.
That's your right. Because, you, the college, own the books. That's fine. However, the consequences are... You're going to have students that's going to point out your bullshit, because a lot of them are going to, unless they're all just perfect little bots or whatever, but that's beside the point. And you're going to have people like us coming across it and seeing it and making the hell fun of you for it because you're offended by naughty bits. Hey, guess what? Everybody can take off their clothes and look in a mirror.
Yeah, also, just as a thought that occurred to me, I don't know how this would work for this particular college, but as far as I'm aware, aren't most exams set outside the education facility? Like there's a central examining board. And I don't know how many exams it particularly would make reference to and tell me how the light hits his penis. But it's outside, as far as I know, is it outside their authority, which means they could be putting these kids at a disadvantage as well?
Possibly. I'm not sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, and now I want to know if there are any questions out there that reflect on the lighting or style of the how contours are lit, and the thing is, like, Birth of Aphrodite. Okay, she's actually pretty modest. It's like, but
yeah,
the stuff, the Michelangelo stuff. It's like, oh my, I don't like. Yeah, I'm gonna come down and say it. My final thought is I don't like censorship.
Yeah.
Again, unless, to say with the stuff like the N-word, unless there is a context for it, or unless there's a historical precedent, if there's a reason as a society we've decided not to do that thing anymore, does that then stop becoming censorship?
I wouldn't say so, because technically you can say the word without going to prison. Now, whether or not you get the shit beat out of you is a whole different story. So where I fall on censorship is, when it comes to the government, then no, First Amendment, or at least in the United States, First Amendment, all of that good stuff. And to everybody who says, well, Twitter's censoring me, and it's like, well, I mean, in and of themselves, I mean, if you go by the word technically, but they're also not preventing you from saying whatever you're saying elsewhere. You're just kind of being deplatformed, and that's it. You can find other platforms. It's the internet. It's huge. And
we have, I think, anti-discrimination language laws. I don't fully understand them.
Yeah.
So I think that's a thing we have, but like I said, I can't really explain it to you because I can't explain it myself. I think that might be the closest we have to, like, official censorship laws.
Yeah.
But I'm not a fan of that. Like I said, I need to do more research before I can comment. But if that is the case, I'm not sure I'm a fan of that, because it is still censorship.
Yeah. But on that note, we are gonna get out of here for this week. We will be back next week, and then 2 weeks after that will be our 200th episode. Michelle, if we wanted to find you on the social medias, where could we find you?
I have a YouTube, which is Phoenix11, PHEONIX. And you can also follow me on Twitter at Phoenix11, PHEOINX11, obviously, for both of those. Other than that, I don't really have much social presence. And I'm also going to go I'm avoiding the internet. Tomorrow I'm seeing Endgame, so I can then go back onto the internet.
There you go. And as for me, I have seen Endgame, and I actually put out a vlog, very spoilerific vlog, like within 10-20 minutes after I got out of the movie. That's up on my YouTube channel. Which if you go to youtube.com/Gomer21XX, you can go and find that and other videos that I've been working on. You can also find me on the social medias at Gomer21XX, as well on Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, a few other places. On Facebook, I'm under Gomer the Ranting Thespian. And if you want to find this show and others like it, just look up. You could search for Thespian Talk on your favorite podcast app, but I believe the one that'll guarantee you to get it is the RTG Podcast Network. That's where the Junk Drawer, all of the other stuff that I do that's specifically for audio-only stuff, that's where that's all going to go. That's the very feed you're probably listening to this on. I hope you are, at least. And of course, Thespian Talk does have its own YouTube channel as well, so I can actually set it up to where that goes live when it goes live on the site as well. But that's a whole bunch of, backroom stuff that needs to be, that's behind the scenes stuff. I don't really want to get into right now. Oh, so yeah, just a few more weeks, we'll hit episode 200. What's going to happen? I don't know. But I will say this, we will take questions if we can answer them, and we can answer them on episode 200. So yeah, we'll probably do a more thorough reminder next week if I don't put something in the break time. So anyways, thank you guys for listening, and until next time, this is Gomer the Ranting Thespian with Michelle signing off.
Bye.